The daggers never struck. 15th of March, 44 BCE. 60 senators wait in the Curia of Pompey, hearts pounding, hands wrapped around cold iron. They have rehearsed, sworn oaths, believe they are saving the Republic. But Caesar does not come. A messenger arrives. The dictator has a headache. The Ides of March pass like any other day, and the conspirators scatter, their secret already rotting.
By nightfall, Caesar knows everything. A slave, a whisper, a name under torture.
Within a week, 60 senators are dead or exiled. Brutus dies by his own hand. Cassius is strangled. Cicero chooses silence and lives another decade, writing letters no one dares to answer.
The Republic does not fall with a scream in the Senate. It dissolves quietly, like a document left in the rain.
Caesar moves fast. The Parthian campaign launches on schedule, March 18th. 40,000 legionaries march east, not the raw recruits of Crassus, but veterans from Gaul, their armor darkened by dust, their sandals worn from 1,000 miles. The army crosses the Euphrates at Zogma, where the water runs shallow, and the Roman engineers throw a pontoon bridge in half a day. Scouts fan out, each century carrying a month of grain, iron pickets for fortifications, and a new weapon, the caraballista, a light catapult mounted on a mule-drawn cart, able to fire 3 bolts a minute. Caesar does not repeat Crassus's mistakes. No divided forces, no trust in the desert. He keeps his legions tight, his supply lines guarded by cavalry from Gaul and Numidia. The Battle of Carrhae is avenged in a single afternoon. The Parthian king Orodes 2 watches from a hilltop as his cataphracts, men and horses, sheathed in scale armor, charge across the plain. But Caesar has prepared the ground. The legionaries form a hollow square, shields locked, pillar ready. The first wave of cataphracts breaks against the shield wall like water against rock. Then the caraballistae open fire from the rear ranks. Bolts punch through armor at 300 paces. Horses scream, men fall. Orodes orders a feigned retreat, the classic Parthian tactic. But Caesar knows the desert. He does not pursue. Instead, he sends his auxiliary cavalry to flank the archers while the legions advance in a steady iron tide. By sunset, the Parthian line is shattered. Orodes flees. Caesar pursues him 300 miles, through Ctesiphon, through Babylon, to the gates of Ecbatana. The Roman army moves like a machine, each day 20 miles, each night a fortified camp with ditches and palisades. Local villages supply grain at sword point. The Euphrates becomes a Roman road for barges carrying wine, oil, and replacement swords. By 42 BCE, Parthia is a Roman province. The old king dies in a hunting accident, some say by his own son's hand. The new governor, a Roman equestrian named Decidius Saxa, builds a forum in Seleucia and introduces Latin law. Silk flows west, gold flows east, and Caesar returns with an empire from Britain to the Persian Gulf. But the true transformation is legal. Caesar does not abolish the Senate, he makes it irrelevant. He appoints all magistrates, controls the treasury, names his successor while alive. The Lex Iulia de Rebus Extraordinaris transfers control of provincial appointments to the emperor's office. The treasury is moved to the Temple of Ops, locked by Caesar's own seal. No more senatorial corruption, no more extortion of provinces. The old families rage in private, but public dissent means exile. And the exiles are quickly replaced by loyal men from the Munice, the Italian towns that always supported Caesar. Octavian, his grandnephew, is brought to Rome and trained personally. The boy who would have fought a civil war instead receives power as a gift. Caesarion, Caesar's son by Cleopatra, is given the east. Cleopatra herself rules Egypt as a Roman ally, her fleet patrolling the Red Sea, her grain ships feeding the Roman poor. The donations of Alexandria become permanent. The East is a kingdom within the empire, its capital at Alexandria, its language Greek, its law Roman. The years pass, Caesar's health frays, Caesar's fevers, the slow erosion of a body stabbed by history in ways no dagger could match. He dies in his bed in 34 BCE, aged 66. Octavian is at his side. The transition is seamless. No civil war. No prescriptions, no Antony and Cleopatra alliance ending in suicide and asp venom. The Roman Empire begins not with Augustus, but with Caesar. Because there was no chaos, the dynasty is stronger. Octavian rules 40 years, reforming the tax system, building the first permanent fire brigade, and extending citizenship to whole communities in Spain and Gaul. Tiberius inherits a stable state, not a traumatized one. Caligula still happens. Some madness cannot be prevented, but he is removed by the Praetorian Guard after 4 years, and the Senate, now toothless, rubber stamps Claudius, who expands the bureaucracy and invades Britain. By the end of the 1st century, Rome has no year of the 4 emperors, no civil war in 69 CE, no Batavian revolt, no Jewish revolt that destroys Jerusalem. The legions were never pulled away to fight each other. The temple in Jerusalem still stands, its sacrifices offered morning and evening. The high priest, a Roman appointee, who collects taxes for the empire. Consider one life in this world, a merchant in Londinium, year 150 CE. His name is Marcus. He sells glassware from Alexandria. The streets are paved with flint. The drains run under the forum. The market square smells of fish sauce, wet wool, and the smoke of charcoal braziers. He opens his shop at dawn, unrolling a canvas awning against the rain. The garrison is small. The northern tribes have been pacified for generations, their chiefs sending sons to Roman schools. No Boudica, because the legions were never overstretched. A centurion stops by to buy a glass cup, paying in silver denarii stamped with the face of Emperor Antoninus Pius. Marcus has never seen a civil war, never heard of a crisis of the Republic. He haggles in Latin that is slightly accented. His grandparents were Gauls, but no one cares. He pays taxes to a distant emperor. He is free, in the Roman sense. He can own property, trade, travel. He is powerless, in the Roman sense. He cannot vote, cannot appeal a magistrate's decision, but he does not know what he has lost, because no one ever told him the alternative. That is the price of stability. The Republic promised freedom through chaos. The Empire offered order through submission. In our timeline, the transition was violent, the memory of the Republic haunting Rome for centuries. Here, the Republic died in a single day, not with a scream, not with a war, but with a headache, a messenger, and 60 blades that never tasted blood. The long-term consequences are staggering. Without the civil wars of the 1st century BCE, the Roman population is larger, the economy richer, the legions stronger. The Pax Romana begins a century earlier. Roads are built from Londinium to Palmyra, each milestone a marker of imperial reach. The population of Rome itself reaches 2 million, supplied by grain from Egypt, oil from Baetica, wine from Gaul. The crisis of the 3rd century never happens. No military anarchy, no breakaway empires. The borders hold because the legions are never depleted by civil strife. The Danube is a frontier, not a wound. The Rhine is patrolled by river fleets that suppress piracy before it spreads. Rome does not fall in 476 CE, nor in 500. It does not fall at all, not as we remember. Instead, it transforms slowly. A Christian emperor in the 4th century, Constantine, born in Nisus, raised in a stable empire, legalizes Christianity without persecuting pagans. The administrative split between East and West happens in the late 4th century, but both halves remain Roman. The emperor in Constantinople rules the East. The emperor in Rome rules the West. Their bureaucracies staffed by the same legist families. By the year 1000 CE, there is no Holy Roman Empire, just Rome. The Latin language has fractured into dialects, Italian, Gallic, Hispanic, but the educated write in a classical form revived by scholars in the 8th century. Law remains a single skein across provinces, taught in schools from York to Antioch. Let us walk through Rome in the year 1000. The old Curia of Pompey still stands, now a chapel dedicated to St. Julius, Julius Caesar, canonized in the 5th century for his role in spreading order. A traveler from Britannia to the Euphrates sees no border, no rupture between Roman and barbarian. Roads are still paved. The Via Appia is repaired every decade with basalt blocks. Aqueducts still bring water. The Aqua Claudia, built by Claudius, still flows into the baths of Diocletian, now a monastery. On the Danube, a farmer named Decimus wakes before dawn in a village of timber and stone houses. His grandfather fought the last northern war 3 generations ago. Now there is peace. The local legion, Legio 13 Gemina, still bearing Caesar's name, maintains a garrison a day's march away at Vindobona. Soldiers drill in the morning, then spend the afternoon building roads or teaching Latin to the children of Gothic settlers. Their children speak a mix of Latin and Gothic. Decimus pays taxes in grain to the Praefectus Annonae. He has never seen an emperor, but he has seen the imperial portrait on the Forum wall, a stern-faced woman named Helena, ruling for 30 years, her image painted on wood and set in a gilded frame. Rome no longer conquers, it consolidates. Borders are fixed, guarded by fleets on the Rhine and Danube, fortresses in the Syrian desert. Beyond lie kingdoms that trade, a revived Persian empire under the Sassanids, a confederation of Germanic tribes that has adopted Roman law and coinage, a Christian kingdom in Axum that sends ivory to Roman ports. The world is not peaceful. There are skirmishes, bandits, plagues, but it is stable. In the great library of Constantinople, still called Nova Roma, a scholar named Photius copies a manuscript by lamplight. He is writing a history of the Ides that never bled, based on Cicero's letters and Caesar's own memoirs. He has read Cicero's De Senectute, written when the orator was 80, a meditation on old age that ends with a blessing on his garden. He has read Caesar's Commentary de Bello Parthico, where the dictator describes the headache that saved his life, a purple cloth soaked in vinegar pressed to his forehead, a cancelled meeting, a change of fate. Photius wonders, would the Republic have been better? He cannot know. The Republic is a memory preserved in ink, a ghost that never had the chance to disappoint. The candle flickers. Outside, the city hums with water in aqueducts, clatter of carts, distant chant of monks. The empire breathes. It has breathed for 1,000 years. It will breathe for 1,000 more. Thank you for walking through this quieter world with us. If you want to see more timelines where history took a different turn, consider subscribing. We will be here.